Annyeonghaseyo, this is meowmurai. Let's continue our game of Our World Is Ended, running on Nintendo Switch. Now, longtime viewers of my of my channel will probably recognize this game from 2019. That's the last time we looked at this when it was released on the Switch. And I never did go back and look at the other endings. I think we just did the original generic ending, which is what you have to do when you first play this game, or first read this visual novel. But we never went back and saw everything else, of which it has quite a number of interesting endings. So we're going to try to go through this not as a rush or anything. In fact, I won't be releasing episodes of this every day, but on occasion we'll cover this game. It's a very, very long one, so it's definitely not a short visual novel. But I always found it really fascinating. I always really liked it. You'll also notice that I don't have the music on, as generally visual novels tend to be copyright heavy. There's a lot of YouTube strikes whenever we talk about visual novels. The Japanese have a very more guarded view of how they protect their copyright on games. And I'm not here to promote this artist, so he's just gonna have to be left out of the conversation, I guess. So yeah, let's check it out. Our world has started. Hello, world. How many people understand just how vague and uncertain the world reflected in our eyes actually is? Back then, we believed, were certain, that the world was exclusive, that we could see and touch for ourselves. All that we perceived, we shared with everyone else, and vice versa. But when you think about it, there's just no way to prove that the world I see is exactly the same as the world anyone else sees. After all, the only world I can really perceive is my own. When you look at it that way, the world starts to seem extremely fragile, faint and vain. I suddenly feel like someone poured cold water on my back. Well, that's more or less what happened. The coldness even hurts a little bit. It forcefully brings my consciousness back from the verge of fading and completely clears my hazy vision. What I see before me is a girl, something of a silver lining in this situation. She has facial features brimming with the roundness of youth, large eyes full of energy, and blue short hair that seems to melt into the clear sky. 8 out of 10 normal men would deem her cute, while the other 2 would hail her as super cute. She's a real cutie in the sailor uniform. I reflexively speak her name. She is Yuno Hayase, a senior at my part-time job. Sure, she's clearly a high school girl, reasonably younger than me, but that doesn't stop her from being my senior. Yuno-san jumps at me with no hesitation to speak of. A sudden two-pronged assault by an offensively soft sensation. Just one is enough to make a grown man ascend to a higher plane in a split second. Using a weapon of such power has to be a war crime. 2 of these simultaneously would surely devastate my armies. Does she intend to wipe us out from the face of the earth? I shall gladly accept this defeat, for I am a man. Wait, this isn't the time to be flustered. I gently and carefully push her away from me. Doing so brings me great pain, but alas. Asakusa Roku. 7/16/2017, Sunday, to 11 p.m.
レイジ君、カムバックお帰りだよ。
はい、ただいまです。僕どっか行ってましたっけ？
おいおい、覚えてないのかい？しっかりしてくれたまえよ。
I hear a lethargic voice in my right ear. It's Awadi-san.
どこかに行ってたというか、行っちゃってたというか、ある意味生きかけてたのだよ、君は。ま、それも若さゆえの暴走というものだがね。
Gone? My head still feels heavy, and my field of vision seems strangely small, but my awareness is coming back to me, letting me remember the situation I'm in.
そうそう、勝手に行っちゃったらダメだよ、レイジ君。行くときはちゃんと行くって言わないとね。
ユウノ、今のはなかなかグレートフルなセリフだ。80点をやろう。
わーい、ユウの80点もらっちゃいました。次は100点満点目指します。
Yuno-san seems completely fired up.
いや、100点目指しちゃダメですから、ユウノさん。っていうか、オワリさんも変態発言は控えてください。それにグレートフルってすごいって意味じゃないですからね。念のため。
レイジ君、随分と威勢がいいじゃないかい。仕事中に生きかけてた男のくせにさ。
As I listen to Awadi-san's voice through the in-air receiver in my right ear, my clouded consciousness starts to process reality again. Suddenly, I remember the thing that's been bothering me for a while now.
背中がとても冷たいんですが。
それはそうだよ。だってユウのがこれ全部かけちゃったんだもん。まだちょっとしか食べてなかったのに。
She pouts and swings around an empty plastic cup that says ice on it.
全部かけちゃったって、それどう見てもかき氷じゃないですか。
そうだよ。せっかくのイチゴ&メロンのスペシャルブレンドだったのに、レイジ君を助けるために涙を飲んでぶっかけました。
どうもすみません。後で弁償します。
ちなみにスペシャルブレンドのポイントはイチゴとメロンの割合が3対3なんだよ。ここだけの話だけどね。
She says that as if it's the most important thing in the world. Isn't 3 to 3 basically 1 to 1? I'd ask that aloud, but it's best to avoid fretting the little details when talking to her. Anyway, I now know why my back is so cold and heavy. There's shaved ice between my shirt and back, and it's covered in strawberry and melon syrup. Honestly, I didn't even want to think about the terrible state my back was in. Sure, this summer sunlight will quickly melt the ice and dry the shirt, but I don't know if the syrup will come off that easily.
とにかく、君はあまりの暑さに気を失いかけていたというわけだよ。新世界ゴーグルの路上実験中にね。
The new world goggles are the reason why my head feels so heavy and my field of vision is limited. Oh yeah, I remember it all now.
どうやらそうみたいですね、オワリさん。そちらは冷房の効いた事務所の中だからいいでしょうが、こっちは30度を超える炎天下の中なんですよ。危うく熱中症になりかけてるじゃないですか、僕。この新世界ゴーグルってめちゃくちゃ危険な代物だと思うんですけど。
The item is best described as a full helmet developed by Awadi-san to be a pair of AR goggles. It's basically a modified bike helm with a smartphone installed along the inside of the front, displaying the feed of the external camera in real time. It blocks your entire view while allowing you to see the outside through the screen, making you question what's the point and why anyone would ever wear it. The modifications also make the inside absurdly hot and stuffy, making it feel like a needlessly high-tech torture device. And here I am, wearing it in this heat. Honestly, no one can fault me for almost fainting.
いや、安心したまえ。こっちも基地のエアコンが完全にいかれてしまってね。体感温度で言えば40度は超えているよ。
安心しろの意味がまるでわかりませんが。というか、エアコン壊れたんですか？
クーラー壊れちゃったの？まだ7月なのに。やだな、基地に戻りたくないな。
この世に灼熱地獄というものがあるとすれば、我らジャッジメントセブンの基地こそ そう称するにふさわしい。とだ。
何にせよ、事務所にいてもここにいてもどこにいても暑いってことは分かりました。
NO! 事務所ではない。ここはジャッジメントセブンの最前線基地である。何と言えば覚えるんだね君は。
はいはい、最前線の基地って言うくらいならせめてエアコンくらいは直してくださいよ。
でも夏だから暑いのは仕方ないかな。寒い夏よりはいいと思うんだ。だって寒いとかき氷も美味しくないからね。
そういうことだレイジ君。ということで君が意識を取り戻したのであれば、より本格的な実験を開始させてもらうとするよ。
はあ、倒れない程度に頑張ります。
レイジ君、ファイティングだよ。ユウノがうちわで仰いであげるからね。プレイレイジオン。
Yunasan sure is lively. She's vigorously fanning me with a cheap-looking fan, making a faint wind go in my direction. It doesn't make me the least bit cooler, though. In fact, all she does is attract the negative attention of the passerby here in Asakusa, making me feel seriously uncool. I mean, we're here in the Asakusa Roku, not too far from the Sensoji Temple and its shopping street, making this area popular with tourists and the like. A weirdo with a full helm and a high school girl in a sailor uniform fanning him would seem like some new street performance or some act to attract new customers. The tourists, misunderstanding the situation, pull out their phones and take photos of us. Unison responds in kind by making the peace sign.
イエーイ、ジャッジメントセブンをよろしくお願いします。
She energetically waves her hand at them, making her absurdly large bust stuck under her uniform shake. That alone causes a stir in the audience. Those are J7's ultimate weaponized memories for you. Their destructive power can be felt worldwide, as evidenced by the impressed foreign tourists.
レイジ君、そっちの視界はこちらでもモニター中だが君、さっきから言うのの胸ばかり見すぎじゃないかね。
そんなことはありません。とにかく目立ちまくってますので、さっさと実験を開始しましょう。
それではこれより新世界ゴーグルの機能検証実験を開始する。ワールド
I hear him work his keyboard and press the enter key over the receiver. Awadi-san said that he's particularly proud of the World program. Apparently it's a program that combines real scenery with virtual data, and those New World goggles were made specifically for it. The camera installed on the front sends visual data to the smartphone installed inside the helm, and though there are slight issues with the sense of distance, it's a decent view. There's orange text flickering in the corner. World.sys, stand by. Looks like the program's waiting for some new input.
ここからがお楽しみの本番タイムだよ。プログラムの方は受け入れ準備バッチリだからね。あとは君のボイスコマンドで立ち上げてくれたまえ。
ボイスコマンドですか？なんか回りくどくないですかそれ。そちらから操作して起動できないんですか？
おいおい、君にはロマンってものが欠如しているようだね。この手のフルフェイス型のデバイスにおいてボイスコマンドによるプログラム起動はお約束中のお約束。
ああ、そんなもんですかね。
Honestly, I don't completely believe that. That's why my response is vague.
それでなんて言えばいいんです？
チェンジ・ザ・ワールド。それがワールドプログラム起動のボイスコマンドだ。さあ、叫びたまえ。
That's even more embarrassing than I expected. Saying those words in a place with so many foreign tourists sounds like a seriously unfortunate dare in a truth or dare game.
さあレイジ君、シャウトだよ。
Unison nonchalantly encourages me like it's none of her business. Then again, she'd probably do without hesitation if she was in my shoes. I mean, she's the very definition of airhead. I, on the other hand, am the picture of a common lower middle class boy. So,
チェンジ・ザ・ワールド。
おい 小さいよレイジ君。それになんだか迷いすら感じられるではないか。もっと自分を解放し、腹の底から叫んでくれたまえ。
Or you could just increase the mic sensitivity. Oh well, whatever. I'll just do it.
チェンジ・ザ・ワールド。
A filter is applied over my vision, displaying various info.
すごい。
I unwittingly mouth that single word. This is actually kind of cool.
新世界へようこそだレイジ君。
A communication window opens up on the edge of my vision and displays Owari-san. As absurd as the gear itself looks, I can't deny that I'm somewhat excited about this.
ワールドプログラムの起動を確認した。引き続きメニュー用のボイスコマンドが正常に機能するかを実験しよう。さあレイジ君、今度はメニュープリーズと叫んでくれたまえ。
It probably won't recognize my voice if I speak the command normally, so I just go ahead and get straight to shouting.
メニュープリーズ。
And so, a new menu appears at the side of my vision.
よーし、メニューは無事に開いたようだな。次はカーソルを移動させてみよう。もちろんこれもボイスコマンドだ。
はあ、まあそうでしょうね。それでなんて言えばいいんですか？
普通に上だ下だと言えばいい。カーソルをモニターの右上まで移動させた後、今度は左下まで移動させてくれたまえ。
I do as I'm told and try moving the cursor.
上、右。ああ、違う、上じゃない、右だって。
This isn't working. It's not listening to me at all.
ちょっと尾張さん、これめちゃくちゃ操作しづらい仕様なんですけど。
そりゃそうだろうね。本来であれば新世界ゴーグルに内蔵している脳波センサーでカーソルを操作する設計だからさ。
He responds with a carefree tone. I would have loved to do this experiment after that cool-sounding function was implemented. After a while of struggling, I eventually did what Owari-san told me to.
よし、いいぞ。そこで一言。
ああ、何なんですかそれは。
いわゆる決定のボイスコマンドだ。ちなみにキャンセルのコマンドはそこはダメよとなっている。
どうしてそんなセリフみたいなボイスコマンドなんですか？それに、なんだか聞き方によっては卑猥だし。
He replies to me as if whatever he's done here is only obvious.
もちろん、その新世界ゴーグルを女の子がつけた時のために決まっているじゃないか。慣れない操作に戸惑いながら先ほどのボイスコマンドを口にする。想像しただけでご飯が3杯はいけそうだ。
Oh yeah, how could I forget? This man is a huge perv.
君の声では正直少しのリビドーも湧かないが、それでも大切な実験だからね。熱く激しく感情を込めて叫んでくれたまえ。
Alright, I give up. I'll just say the lines I'm told to.
ああ、そこそこいい感じ。そこはダメよ。
I properly test out confirm and cancel commands. We continue doing this for many more voice commands, and I end up shouting even more really weird lines over and over and over again. We were already being treated as weirdos, and this only serves to make it worse. I just want to crawl into a hole somewhere. Hell, give me a shovel and I'll dig one for myself.
よーし、なかなか自分を解放できたじゃないか。ボイスコマンドの実験はこれぐらいにしておこう。
Those words make me feel like I was just graced by an angel of salvation.
ありがとうございます。
どうして俺が礼を言われるんだい？
いえ、こっちのことです。それで次の実験は？
うん、そうだな。次はほふ前進でもやってみようかね。
はあ？
He just thought that one up. He's clearly just having fun by messing with me now. There's just no way he isn't. Even so, as a mere part-time worker, I can't really go against his words. I crawl, but Owari-san's absurdities, experiments, didn't end there. I couldn't do a handstand, but I still had to walk backwards and even on all fours. Even the weird voice commands I hoped were over actually came back, and I ended up shouting even more of them. Some people laughed at me, some found me a nuisance, some saw me as a menace worthy of reporting to the police. I even bumped into a scary man and almost got taken to a place just as frightening. Even so, I did all of Owari-san's irresponsible requests, no matter how much of an affront to human rights they were. Needless to say, it was hellish.
なかなか頑張るではないか。さすがは若人だね。
はあ、どうも。
Honestly, his praise doesn't make me all that happy. Wait, what meaning did all these experiments even have?
レイジ君グッジョブだよ。
ありがとうございます、ユーノさん。
Now this makes me happy. Ah, the dazzling shine of a genuine high school girl's smile.
それでは少し休憩した後、実験の後半戦に突入しようじゃないか。
ちょっと待ってください。
Unable to bear it, I talked back against him. It's rare for me to go against Owari-san's proposals.
今日はもうこれぐらいにしておきませんか。ほら、オワリさんだけに終わりにしようなんて。
My joke has no effect. Well, not like I'm unaware that it was absolutely awful.
正直、体力も気力も限界なんです。もう勘弁してください。
レイジ君、この俺が頑張ってくれる君のために何のご褒美も用意していないと思っているのかい？
ご褒美？
このとびきりのご褒美を見れば疲れも吹っ飛ぶこと間違いなしだよ。 X モード起動。
Suddenly, the scenery of the town changes severely. The walls, the path, surfaces all over are replaced with sexy pictures.
これはオワリさん。
ワールドプログラムを使って取り込んだ風景をリアルタイムに加工して君に見せているのさ。
I've heard of what augmented reality goggles were capable of doing, but experiencing for myself changes everything.
だが君へのご褒美はこれだけではないのだよ。さあ、その目を見開いてユーロの方を見るがいい。
What? No way. But wait, a pervert like him could actually... With hope and excitement in my heart, I turned to face Yuno-san.
来たー。
Yuno-san comes to my vision modified the same way as the billboards and all that. However, the power here is incomparable to anything around us. I mean, Yuno-san's wearing a swimsuit. Not just a swimsuit, a school swimsuit. That's Owari-san for you. He's a true man of culture.
これぞ世界を書き換える世紀のプログラムワールドだ。どうだ、素晴らしいだろう。
素晴らしかです。
My tone makes me sound delirious. I'm so overwhelmed that I sound like I have some accent. Weird.
ねえねえ、何が素晴らしいの？言うのにもちょっと見せてよ。
Yuno-san brings her face closer to mine, which naturally brings her memory weapons right before my eyes. I can't help but focus my sight exclusively on them. I'm so glad to be alive.
我ながらこれはなんというけしからんことに。レイジ君、もっと近づきたまえ。
I suddenly hear a clattering sound at the other end of the receiver, which instantly brings me back to my senses.
あ、オワリさん、スクショ撮ってますね。それはダメです。さすがにユーノさんの肖像権の侵害です。それにぶっちゃけずるいですよ。
おいおい、誤解しないでくれたまえ。これは貴重な実験データなのだよ。後でじっくりと画像を検証しなくちゃだしね。
聞こえましたよ。今ムフフって笑いましたね。100% 横島な気持ちじゃないですか。
もう二人で盛り上がっててずるいずるい。言うのにも見せてよ。
Yuno-san reaches for the New World goggles I'm wearing.
さて、もう十分だろう。ご褒美の時間は終了だ。
He turns off the visual rewriting, making Yuno-san go back to her school uniform. The indecent pictures around us also turn back to the normal surfaces they were. As I find myself a little disappointed, Owari-san whispers into my ear.
実験の後半戦を頑張ってくれたらさらなる新世界を見せてやろうじゃないか。ビキニなんてどうだい？猫耳コスなんてのもあるぞ。
Owari-san is seriously underestimating me. I am not a small enough man to be lured and forced to act because of some simple pleasure. Yeah, right. I'm taking the bait and I'm doing it proudly. I mean, just try imagining Yuno-san in a bikini. Just what kind of form would the meowmurai weapons take after being freed from the tightness of the school swimsuit? I cannot allow myself to end this day without bearing witness to that. In fact, give me the bikini and cat ear combo. Sad as it might seem, my energy and motivation are back like they were, never gone. Truly, World Program and Yuno-san's memory weapons are things to be feared.
わかりました。午前0時、最後まで付き合います。さあ、どんどん行きましょう。
よくぞ言ってくれた、レイジ君。それでこそジャッジメント7期待のホープだ。では実験の後半戦を始めるとしよう。とりあえず適当に踊りながらその界隈を一周してもらおうか。
The request is as unreasonable as always, but I no longer fear doing it. Thinking of the dream beyond this pain and embarrassment gives me all the motivation I need. And so, the moment I'm about to start dancing...
お、なんだこれ。おわりさん、おかしなことになっちゃってますよ。
何？ワールドプログラムが暴走だと。負荷テストじゃ一度もこんなことは。
With the sound of something shutting down, my vision turns completely black.
おわりさん、何も見えなくなっちゃったんですけど。
He doesn't respond. A few moments later, I start to panic. My vision comes back.
なんだこれは。
What I see is Asakusa Roku, the exact same place I was at, but the surroundings have completely changed. The buildings at my sides are destroyed and ruined. The crowds of people are gone, and I hear nothing but a deafening silence. I have no idea what happened. With shaking legs, I take a few steps forward and see... Eh? What? What the hell? What's going on here?
あれはユーノさん。
There's a girl in a sailor uniform crucified to the side of a ruined building. Her blue hair is shaking in the wind. She isn't the only one either. Other people I know well are hanging there too. Why did this happen? Wait, forget that. Just what is happening here? My brain can't keep up with the sight before me, so I'm just standing still in this warped city, completely dumbfounded. That's when I see something at the edge of my vision move. It's a girl, clad in a pure, unsullied one-piece. She's looking directly at me. I see desperation in her eyes. It's as if she's pleading for something. The girl doesn't feel quite real, and seems to bear an air of mystery around her. I'm unable to look away. Strangely enough, I'm not scared of her. Still, I'm uncertain about how I should handle this, so I just freeze in place. She, however, silently starts speaking to me.
気をつけて。気をつけて。もうすぐ世界が始まるから。
My vision is overcome by black again, and the girl is reduced to nothing but an after image.
気をつけて。もうすぐ世界が始まるから。
Our world has overflowed. Change the world. Chapter 1.
レイジ君、レイジ君。
あれ、ユーノさん。
どうしたのレイジ君、大丈夫？
I come back to the senses and see Unisan staring at my face. Wasn't she hanging on the building just now? My mind starts working again.
ユーノさんこそ大丈夫ですか？さっきひどい目に遭ってたじゃないですか。
ひどい目？言うのは別になんともないよ。
She vigorously moves her arms to show that there's nothing wrong with her, and it doesn't look like she's forcing it. If that's the case...
なるほど。わかりましたよ。
I heave a sigh.
さっきのはオアリさんが用意した画像データってことですね。
I already experienced enough to tell that the world program makes displaying things that aren't real into a real piece of cake.
あれも拡張現実の実験ってやつですか？なるほど。確かにすごいですよ。いきなり浅草がめちゃくちゃになってるし、ユーノさんたちはビルに貼り付けにされてるし、いきなり世界が終わったのかと思いました。
おいおいレイジ君、さっきから君は何を言っているんだい？
Wadi-san sounds puzzled.
そんな画像データなど俺は表示させていないよ。白チュームでも見ていたんじゃないかい？
Wadi-san is an extreme pervert, and I wouldn't be surprised if he got arrested one of these days. But I already know him well enough to tell that he's no liar. Then what was going on with Asakusa just now?
レイジ君、やっぱり頭がオーバーヒートしちゃったんじゃないかな。
まあずっと新世界ゴーグルをかぶっていたわけだし、意識が朦朧としてきてもおかしくないかもしれないね。それにしても白チュームで U の貼り付けにとはね。まさかレイジ君は高速プレイがお好みだったなんて。なかなかいい趣味を持っているじゃないか。
ちょっとオアリさん、変な誤解しないでくださいよ。断じて違いますから。
そんなに否定しなくってもいいじゃないか。夢には心の中で強く思っていることが現れるというからさ。
He's clearly just messing with me now. I feel like talking back will only encourage him, so I decide to change the subject.
そういえば結局プログラムがおかしくなった原因は何だったんですか？
さあ、それについては検証してみないとわからないね。暴走して強制終了したみたいだが。俺のプログラムが暴走するなんて理論的にありえないんだがな。ともかくこんな状態では新世界ゴーグルを使っての路上実験は続けられそうもないね。とりあえず基地に戻っておいでよ。もっともここも灼熱地獄であることに変わりはないがね。
Wadi-san ends the call. A bit disappointed that I wouldn't be getting the second reward, I take off the New World goggles. It makes me feel freed. The pleasant wind on my face feels chilly, in spite of the searing sunlight.
レイジ君、実験終わりなんだね。ご苦労様だよ。
はい。ユーノさんもお疲れ様でした。
I'm overcome by even more disappointment that I didn't see the second reward. Man, what's wrong with me?
世界さん戻ってこいって言ってたよね。それじゃ一緒に基地に帰ろっか。
The moment we start walking, I hear some cheerful music come from her waist area.
お、はいはい。
She walks a few steps away, takes her smartphone out of her panda-like pouch hanging at her side, and places it against her ear.
もしもーし。お姉ちゃん、どうしたの？
After a brief talk, Yuno-san ends the call and looks at me with a guilty expression.
レイジ君、ごめんね。ユウの一緒に基地には帰れなくなっちゃいました。お姉ちゃんのとこに行かないとなの。
ああ、そうなんですか。どうぞ僕のことは気にしないでください。一人で帰りますから。
ありがとう、レイジ君。それじゃ、またね。
Yuno-san waves her hand and leaves. Watching her walk away makes me somewhat sad. Wait, now that I think about it, why is she wearing a school uniform on Sunday? I'm a bit curious, but I decide not to overthink it. In Judgment 7, mysteries like that are nothing to rack your brain over. There's just no point in that. Hisago Shopping Street, 7/16/2017, Sunday, 3:14 p.m. With the weird helmet NWG under my arm, I make my way back to the office. I actually start to think about what I saw. Asakusa in ruins. What was that anyway? Is Awari-san right? Did I really just see a daydream? Maybe I was so blinded and hyped up by the reward that I didn't even notice myself getting a heat stroke.
気をつけて。もうすぐ世界が始まるから。
The mysterious words the girl left me with are stuck in my head, but I guess I won't figure anything out just by thinking about it. Yunasan's right. I overheated, got a heat stroke, and started seeing and hearing things. That has to be it. As I try to convince myself, I walk through the familiar town of Asakusa. Judgment 7 office, 7/16/2017, Sunday, 3:18 p.m. After leaving the Asakusa Roku and passing the Hisago shopping street, I turn at a few street corners and arrive at a certain building. It's old looking, thin, it has 3 floors, and it's the Judgment 7 office. Now, the name Judgment 7 might sound like the name of a hero group for some old manga, but let me assure you, it's nothing like that. It's actually a game development company, and this entire building belongs to it. J7 is no doubt one of the smaller game dev companies in the world. Even when you include me and Unisan, the part-time workers, the total is just 7. I started working here and became part of the team about 1 month ago. As a college student who thought of becoming a game designer, I was very happy at first. But then I was given a bitter taste of how harsh the industry, or rather just J7, really is. First of all, the work hours are just insane. When game development takes off, you can barely sleep, bathe, or eat, and it's common to actually spend the night in the office. And worst of all, the pay we part-timers get is seriously low, like so low that I'm actually afraid to calculate my hourly pay. Lastly, the members are all extremely quirky, and putting up with their oftentimes absurd tasks can be really taxing. My role in the company, by the way, is AD. And no, despite what you expect, that doesn't stand for assistant director, but assisting director. It basically means that I'm in charge of whatever odd jobs the others may give me. Anyway, back at the office. I'd like to get some rest now, but honestly my hopes are low. I sigh and enter the building. Judgment 7 office, dev room, 7/16/2017, 3:21 p.m. Sunday. I make my way up to the second floor and open the door to the dev room, where I'm welcomed by a wave of hot air. That instantly reminds me of what Awari-san said about the air conditioner. Yeah, this is definitely a burning hell. It's also humid, making it feel like a weak sauna. The dev room is split into 2, the development space at the front and the conference space further in. The office supplies here are all second-hand, making the whole place look and feel really messy. There's even a desk that looks like it's from an elementary school. Whose is it anyway? 2 men are looking at their PC screens with frenzied expressions, and I'm not sure if it's because of the boiling heat. I don't know why, but the air here feels tense.
Number 0 の機関か.
The man making the edge of his sunglasses flash is Iruka-san. His official name is Iruka number 2. Of course, it's not his real name. He calls it his soul name, but it's basically a developer name. Iruka is Japanese for dolphin. Why he went with that and why not number 2? I have no idea, and I feel like I never will. He's obviously a member of Judgment 7. His role is planner, scenario writer, and scripter.
どうした Number 0. まるで異世界ノバークに紛れ込んだ冴えない普通の大学生のような顔ではないか?
Apparently, number 0 refers to me. What he calls people is completely arbitrary, making him really hard to understand. It's so bad that some of the members just outright ignore it whenever he does that. Someone should really give him a table to help him remember the nicknames he gave us. In fact, he's in charge of the settings of the company's games, so he should make one himself.
どうした 0. まだ意識がアッシャー界に定着しきっていないようだが
魂定着の儀式が必要か？
He calls me a weird name again and adds a strong dose of his incomprehensible nonsense. Man, this is annoying.
いやいや、僕の意識でしたらもう18年も前からこの世界に定着してますからご心配なく。それにゼロって何なんですか？そんな恥ずかしい名前で呼ばないでくださいよ。
人には2通りの名前があるのだよ。神の計画書に記された戦士としての名前と、そして前世から受け継いだ魂に刻まれた名前だ。
両親からもらった名前はどこに行っちゃったんですか？
ほう、さすがラノベの主人公のような的確なツッコミ。血は争えんというわけか。
だから何の血なんですか？うちの両親は普通のサラリーマンと主婦ですよ。
いずれわかる。たとえお前がそれを拒もうが望まなかろうが、嫌でもその時が来る。
He makes the edge of his sunglasses flash again. I still really don't know how he does that.
拒もうが望まなかろうがって、それって同じ意味ですよね。嫌をなしってことですか？っていうかイルカさん、絶対何も考えずに適当に喋ってますよね。
我が輩の言葉はまさに天からの啓示。考えるのではない、感じるのだよゼロ。
Utica-san's voice resounds throughout the dev room. The fact that he does this even when other people are trying to work has people describing him as the vocal madman, but that doesn't seem to bother him whatsoever. I figure there's no point in talking to him anymore and face the other person here.
お疲れ様です、終わりさん。ただいま戻りました。
おお、レイジ君、おかえり。実験ご苦労だったね。
This man is Sekai Owari-san. He's the one who was telling me what to do during the street experiment. He's also the founder and main representative of this game development company, Judgment 7. He works as the main programmer, and his skill at programming is actually amazing. He specialized in creating ultra-perverted programs that no normal person could write. I heard that his incomprehensible code might or might not also be used in the security programs of some major online shopping site. Of course, the world program that we experimented with was also made entirely by him. Also, Sekai Owari isn't his real name, but a developer name he gave himself, which is kind of obvious, I guess. Speaking of which, my own name here, Reiji Golden, or Midnight, is also just a developer name Owari-san gave me by changing the reading of my real name to Reiji Misaki.
しかし、あんな中途半端なところで実験が中断してしまうなんてね。あそこから盛り上がるところだったんだよ。まあ、待っていてくれたまえよ。また日を改めてあの実験の続きをするつもりだからね。レイジ君には今日以上に浅草の街で大暴れしてもらうことになるだろう。
Bigger show than today. You're downright evil, aren't you? But wait, maybe I'll be able to bear it for the reward. Man, what a pathetic thought.
それから戻ってきたばかりで悪いんだが、レイジ君も早速参加してくれないかい？今は人手が必要なのでね。
You can almost hear the hesitation in my voice. Owari-san is probably examining what caused the world program to fail and crash. If that's really the case, I can't help him at all. I'm a complete layman when it comes to programming, so I don't have any of the necessary knowledge.
どうしたんだい？えらく歯切れの悪い返事じゃないか。
いえ、ワールドプログラムの検証の手伝いですよね。僕なんかにできることはあるんですか？
はあ、違う。あっちの方なら君に頼むことは何もないよ。ほら、クーラーが行っちゃっただろ？それで室温の上昇に耐えきれないで社内サーバーが熱暴走を起こしたといったところだね。ちなみにレイジ君、君に加わってほしいのは別の作業だよ。ズバリインターネットを使った能動的宣伝活動だ。
そしてまたの名をアクティブオーライトジー
Utica-san strikes a pose and makes those more weird voices. Okay, just so you know, no matter how hard you try and how loud you shout it, you can't make self-promotion sound cool.
れにサブちゃんへの書き込みだって言ってくださいよ。
Subchan, or Subchannel, is a major online text board forum. At the end of June, Judgment 7 released a new app game, Skeleton Gate. It's the first game I've ever helped develop. We got it from the planning stages to release all within June alone, and needless to say, the schedule was downright hellish. Because of that, we call the month the June of Nightmares, and none of us want to experience something like that ever again. However, despite seemingly costing us a few years of our lives, the game doesn't seem to be attracting all that much attention. That's why Wadi-san told us to go on Subchan, where there are tons of game threads and actively post to get people interested in our creation.
先ほど数日ぶりにサブちゃんを覗いてみたのだが、スレッドのあまりの加速っぷりに愕然としてしまったのだよ。
His shoulders droop and he sighs.
そこでこれからみんなで集中して書き込みをし、スレッドを盛り上げようというわけさ。
我が輩たちが紡ぎ出すパーフェクトコメントでスレッド、いや屍ゲートを大いに盛り上げようではないか。 Let's burn it!
いやいや、炎上はダメですって。逆効果じゃないですか。
I can't help but comment, knowing him, he'd actually do it. Giving Itaka-san a sidelong glance, I sat down at my own desk. Then, I boot up the PC and go to the Skeleton Gate thread. Yeah, it's so dead, it's kind of sad. In fact, it hasn't been touched for 2 weeks now. It's not just dead, it's 6 feet under. Oh, whoops. Let's see, where are we putting this? We'll put this here in number 6. And with that, why don't we stop it there? This is meowmurai. You're watching The World Is Ended, running on Nintendo Switch. Yeah, so like I said, we'll do this here and there on occasion. I really just wanted to get to the other routes that are in the game. You know, like I said, the first time we did this, you know, gosh, it was 6 years ago. We did the default route, but now I'd like to try to go for well, first we'll try for Natsumi's route, which is the girl in the top right hand there, our goth girl route. And then we'll try for all the other characters at some point in time and see what really lies in the AR world of Our World Is Ended. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you at the next stream.